Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of All That Remains. My name is Sully, and today I'm joined by our regular Count. And how are you today, Count?
I am alive, I'm here. This exists.
Yeah, it is all that remains.
Yes.
Infrequently, all that exists.
Yes, very infrequently. We're not very good at this, are we?
No. Yeah, well, we'll get to weekly at some point, hopefully, in the near future, hopefully. Hopefully.
He says.
Hopefully. Well, we're already talking about recording next week before we even started this week, so that's a good sign.
Makes a change.
Yes. So, Count, tell me what you've been up to, man. It's been almost 2 weeks since we caught up.
So, game-wise, I've been pretty much exclusively playing Pokemon. Because I want to complete the Pokédex, because Pokemon Home came out, the little
saw that
app thing. Yes.
Count, please explain to the novice, before you do tell me anything else about your week, just tell me about Pokemon Home. If I have, like, a Pokemon Yellow save, can I get my Pokemon from that into Home?
A Pokemon Yellow Game Boy or a 3DS release?
It has to be a 3DS release?
Yeah, if it's yellow. Anything Generation 3 onwards, you can transfer up.
Is that everything on the Advance?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald up can be transferred to this. Although if you're doing it from Gen 3, it's a very laborious process.
Oh.
So you need at least one game of each generation. A Gen 3, a Gen 4, a Gen 5, and one of the 3DS games to get it.
This sounds very confusing for a weird reason, I feel like.
It's just a case of the solutions were made ad hoc at the time. And it's just become a really laborious process over the course of the years.
Sure.
So, if you have, let's say you have a Pokemon on Pokemon Ruby, you want to transfer it up. You have to get a DS with Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. It has to be a DS because it has to have a Game Boy port as well. Plug both of them in, complete the Elite Four on the Gen 4 game, and unlock the special PAL Park and transfer it through that way on a one-way transfer that goes over to that game.
To an internet-capable device, right?
No, just to a DS, just to the Gen 4 game.
Okay.
So you've now got it on the Gen 4 game.
Mm-hmm.
And now you need to transfer it to the Gen 5 game. So get another DS. If you've got a 3DS, that's fine. That will work.
Okay.
Put the Gen 5 game in that. Defeat the Elite Four in that, and you'll be able to get to a transfer station place where you can play a little weird mini game while you're doing it and get 6 Pokemon from the Gen 4 game over to the Gen 5 game. Then, you've got a 3DS already, download Pokemon Bank and buy a subscription for £5 a year. You get Pokemon Transfer, I can't remember what the specific little app's called, download that bit. You can transfer Pokemon from your Gen 5 game into Pokemon Bank. Then, you download Pokemon Home, get your subscription for that for £15 a year. Then you can just link up your Nintendo Switch account and your Nintendo 3DS account. As long as it's both the same account, it's fine. And then you can transfer all the Pokemon from Pokemon Bank into this.
So simple.
Yes.
See, okay, here's where I thought this was going to stop. I thought you were going to say, for some reason, you could have Game Boy Advance games and you had to get them onto the DS, right? Whether it be into the cartridge, the Game Boy, the Pokemon cartridge or not. But I thought that's because it had to be like an internet-capable device, so it could just transfer straight to home. You know what I mean?
No.
You see where I was going with that? Like,
yeah, but no.
So why is that not the case though?
Because particularly with the older games, everything pre-3DS, you can't just patch. and it wasn't a feature in those.
Okay.
So you can't, because they were just cartridges. You couldn't like digitally download them, and the DS's like actual online features are all disabled now anyway.
Okay, I'm with you.
So you can't just patch those features in. They weren't
consoles.
there in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
I have one more question.
Right.
Why the Game Boy Advance? Why couldn't we do the Game Boy Color, like gold and silver?
Because the Pokemon were programmed completely differently. Each individual Pokemon has unique values, stats, IVs, EVs, blah 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 blah. All loads of different unique markers. Those markers were paid completely differently in Gen 2 and Gen 1. So a Gen 3 onwards game wouldn't know how to deal with that. So that's why they couldn't transfer.
So there's exclusive Pokemon like stuck on that generation then, is that right?
No, because there was re-releases of...
Okay, Heart Gold and Silver.
Because if you... Yeah, Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Fire Red and Leaf Green for just the Kanto on the Game Boy versions. So, like, there's nothing that you can't get.
Gotcha. It's just hard to put it all in one place.
Yeah. So, a lot of my time with Pokemon this week has been on Pokemon Home, because I've been trying to fill the Pokedex. I'd like you to guess then, out of the current 900, what is my Pokedex count?
Am I having a guess, am I?
Yep, have a guess.
Out of the 900, I'm going to say you're in the 800s. Like high 800s.
885.
Oh, there we go. So, okay. Alright. So
three of the ones I need, I can get with varying amounts of effort. 2 of them were event exclusives and I missed the events, so I just have to wait for them to come round again.
Is that on the new one?
2 of them are on the new one, I think. No. 1 of them's on the new one. 1 of them's on Pokemon Go. The 2 event ones were from the 3DS games, and the other one that I can get was also from the 3DS games, but I can get that one, it's fine.
Interesting. I never play the 3DS ones, but when you say event, that's not like some kind of multiplayer online thing, is it?
No, they just give away a Pokemon with they call it mystery gift.
Gotcha.
So you go, like usually they'll do it as a promotion with the store, so you go to like a toy store and get a code.
Okay, and they still do that?
And then you can get the Pokemon. Yeah, they still do those. They're bringing out another, they usually call them mythical Pokemon. They're bringing out another one. They've announced it this week. It's called Zarude. I remember that because everyone was making the joke of Darude Sandstorm because it can't even learn Sandstorm because it's grass and dark type.
Now, if you had to, could you buy these codes online, like legitimately?
I mean, you wouldn't need to buy them. Like the codes are usually free.
Oh, it's a frequent thing then.
They do these sort of Pokemon code giveaways semi-frequently. They've not done many in the last year because Sword and Shield have like been new and everything. But yeah, I'd say they do one at least every few months. And the codes, like they usually give away the codes for a good while. So you only miss out if you don't care.
Yeah, alright. I like it. That's what I like this about Pokemon. Like, it's cool how it's got that real world, like, go out and, get your code type deal. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It could be annoying for some, but I like it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that was always sort of half the aim of Pokemon, was to actually get you out of the house and going to talk to people. It started with, go and trade and battle with everyone. And then it was literally just like Pokemon Go came out. I was like, go out of the house.
It's literally called Go.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Anyway, so you've been playing Pokemon. Fantastic.
Yes.
Very good.
What have you been doing this week?
God.
Last couple of weeks.
I feel like it's all become a bit of a blur. Quite literally, because one moment of it had quite a bit of alcohol attached to it. I had one of my mates' 30th, so that was a big fun night.
Yeah.
gaming wise, haven't been doing too much actually recently. I'm actually getting ready to do a Doom playthrough in the next week or so before the new one kind of hits us in the end of March. I love my Doom.
No way! I wouldn't have known.
Oh my god, so good. Other than that, I've just been doing the usual, which is a lot of tinkering with Game Boy still. So that's going full steam ahead. We just got a bunch of new LCD panels in for that. I've had yours for a while actually, but the rest kind of rolled in too.
Yeah.
So for those that are not aware, that's just kind of a replacement screen. It's much better than the original. It's got its own backlight and everything. So Count has a build for that.
Yes, I've seen a tease of mine. I'm very excited.
Yes. So it's all coming together, I would say, swimmingly. It's interesting though, because it's very much in kind of the DIY mod scene, like this stuff. So a lot of it is like very, very hands-on. And when you see a guide and it has like, what difficulty level is this? And this one is definitely like up there because there's a lot of manual like thinning of areas on the shell. I'm assuming you've seen the inside of a Game Boy Advance shell before Count, but like you'll kind of get like these little risen areas which like form walls just to hold buttons in place and stuff like that. Like there's areas where you have to thin those, not remove, thin. So it's a lot of Dremel work. And I think it was last Thursday I was determined to get all of the Dremel work done on your shell, and luckily it all went very smoothly. And I also got the charging port also drilled in as well. So, which is that's cool, man, because there's a whole micro USB-C charging board and magnetic USB-C built into the shell. So the only thing you see on the outside is basically a round magnet, and then whenever you want to charge it, you just slap the magnet on.
Nice.
So pretty slick. And yeah, so that's coming along. I'm pretty much at the point where Kelsey's almost going to get her hands on it, and she's going to start doing the POSC pen work, and then we have some plans to do some custom resin buttons for you. And
Ooh, very nice.
We'll go from there. So that's just one build, and then we've got 12 others that we're currently thinking about too.
12? Fuck.
Yes, so, but we're squaring yours away first before we start the other ones. So I've got my build on the go at the same time, yours, and then we're just waiting for the last few bits and pieces of these other 12 builds to trickle in, and we're going to try and do 2 giveaways out of that 12 as well. So get onto our Instagram if you want in on that, and that's at Yesterday's Tech. So
definitely get on that.
Yeah, so that's been my week. Pretty crazy.
Yes, definitely. I'll give one music recommendation before we carry on.
Before we talk about the card.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It's it's a traditional death metal. So if you don't like death metal, don't listen to this. But traditional death metal, really sort of galloping, amazing, really sort of it just made me very happy to listen to. The band is called Mammoth Grinder, which I love. It's just a wonderful name. And the album specifically that I've been listening to is the most recent one. It came out in 2018. It's called Cosmic Crypt, and it is just a ton of fun, especially if you like traditional death metal. It's wonderful to listen to.
Sounds heavy.
It's pretty heavy. I've listened to heavier, but it's pretty heavy. Yeah, okay, that's that. And I don't think I have any other music recommendations this week.
And Engage.
That I'm
up the card.
Yes, Engage.
Haven't seen this week's episode.
I haven't seen it either, so that's fine.
Can we just start with last week's episode? Because holy shit. Oh my god.
Oh,
what a revenge arc.
Yeah. That was satisfying.
Yeah,
also, this series is really gory in places.
It is. It is adult Star Trek, and they're not shying away from it seemingly. So, yeah, really, full spoilers. Like, I think we've been covering spoilers as we've been going, I'm imagining.
Yes, please do be aware. We are going to spoil this show.
So this is your official spoiler warning. Echip, the Voyager bloke, the ex-Borg, that was gut-wrenching. Like,
oh
in
yeah,
more ways
they
than one.
They pulled no punches with that.
They pulled his eye from its socket and chopped it off. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gut-wrenching visually, and also just for the character, man. Like, holy shit. Like, what a way. Like, just to...
Yeah.
He was never, like, a pivotal, like, main character, but you kind of, like, when Voyager got home, man, you were like... You envisioned happy endings.
Yeah.
Seemingly not the case. Yeah, very much not the case for a lot of these characters. So I'm kind of curious to see who will see kind of pop or rear their head from other series as well. I do imagine 79 will be back.
Jonathan Frakes is scheduled to appear at least once.
Yeah. He directed the last
yes, he did.
too.
I like him as a director. He's quite a good director.
Yeah, so do I. And he did a lot of the Discovery episodes. I think he even did some of the TNG episodes back in the day.
He did. He did quite a few. He did a few of pretty much every series. And it's surprising. He's done a lot of them.
He definitely knows the craft. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm at a point now with Picard that I can just let go and take a bit of another breath. Like, I feel like we're there. Like, this is clearly going to be a good show as long as they don't
Yeah, you don't, unless they really fuck it up.
Unless they really dive downhill in the later half. Because we're at the halfway point now. I think it's 10 episodes, is that right?
I think so, and yeah, episode 5 is the one that we've both not watched yet because it came out yesterday for me, and I've been
5 or is it 6?
I'll have a look.
Can I share a theory with you though, while you're looking that up? Is you know how we're kind of like on this trail of like seemingly artificial intelligence and kind of some weird prophecy tying in with the Borg and the Tahashi, is it called? They hate Tal Shiar and the Romulans. They all hate like cyborgs and artificial intelligence. Like, I feel like we're on a breadcrumb trail to data. I
think so, because they sort of teased it when they brought back the prototype android from Nemesis before. They said, "Oh, it didn't work," and it was like, that seems like oh, it didn't work. I'm afraid it couldn't possibly have gone well. It just wasn't sophisticated enough. It's just like, this doesn't feel like foreshadowing at all.
And there's one key moment as well where they were discussing the possibilities of being able to create artificial life to the same extent that has happened with the two twins if they had a singular, I think it was neuron from Data. So who created them and from what if it wasn't from him? Like, he's probably done it himself, seemingly. So I feel like we're doing some kind of weird search for Spock thing. Like
well, yeah, it'll end with them resurrecting Data.
Yeah, I feel like that's where we're going, and I'm
I can
down
see
for
that.
It.
They sort of get her back, and once she's safe, they use one of her neurons to make Data again. Like,
if he's not already, I could see that. If he's not already back.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Because who made them otherwise? You know, obviously there'll be something. I feel like this won't be the biggest reveal. This is just part of a grander reveal. Because obviously he'd have motivation for like planting his own daughters in certain areas, I guess. But it would be interesting because I wouldn't say it's like necessarily a direct fan servicey thing bringing him back, because he did die in Nemesis, and it was sad, but it wasn't like a kick to the gut. Like the fandom didn't like regret it necessarily. You know,
I didn't regret it, but I was definitely sad when he did.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if he came back, it would be. I think it'd just be nice. Like, it would be such a cool reveal rather than just oh, of course you did that. You had to do that type thing. You know.
Yeah, it was really nice just to see Data, like when he was in the dream sequences. I was just like, oh, I love Data.
He's honestly
wholesome. My favourite Star Trek character.
it felt so wholesome because it was like the first time it felt like we'd had tangible Star Trek in like 2020, like something that actually felt real to the universe.
Yeah, a lot of people are complaining because it's like, the Federation's supposed to be a utopia and there's not supposed to be any sort of hardships in there. And I'm like, come on. What? No. Why? Why are you trying to act like... I know you want the Federation to be this perfect utopia, but that makes for a very bland story. Like, why do you think all of Star Trek Next Generation was set out in the middle of space away from this perfect utopia? Because that would have been boring. Also, you clearly never watched Deep Space Nine if you think that. Honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, if you think that this universe is full of perfect, incorruptible people, especially the Federation, you have not watched Deep Space Nine.
No, and I mean, like, just because it could still be, like, clean and wholesome as a whole, but it doesn't mean there isn't some form of corruption within it. And there seems to be indication that there could be, like, some kind of, what would you call it? Like an invasion into Federation and a mole, like an external force has come in and corrupted it from the inside. So... Which in
some ways might be true, because you've got several Romulan agents in there. You got the one in Starfleet.
Did you read the Countdown comic? The 3-part Countdown comic?
No, I forgot that it existed.
Yeah, you should read it, because it's fun. It's just like a little short story, like a typical mission, set after Nemesis. And it's actually about the evacuation process of Romulan space. And it gives a lot of information regarding that. And it also has the 2 Romulan characters that live with Picard at the start. And it gives all of their backstory. So,
interesting.
Yeah, it's very cool. I recommend checking it out.
I'll look into that.
Yeah. But anyway, I guess that's enough Star Trek for one week count.
Yes, because this is ostensibly a gaming show, so why don't we talk about that?
So, this week anyway, we're talking about Geforce Now.
Yes.
And
we're doing it now! Geforce Now!
Right now. Aggressive. I think Stadia needs to take a page out of that book.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
well, to a point, anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We'll get to that.
Seemingly off to an interesting start, I will say that, because very different woes they're facing compared to Stadia and the competition, which is, I believe they exited their beta and went into a live trial public test.
They went into a live public test about a month ago, I think. And for some reason, there's been, according to Nvidia, there's been a miscommunication in what exactly this is.
Big whoopsie.
Like what it is that they're offering. And 2 high-profile game companies have decided to pull their games from the service. So the way it works is you buy a game, usually on Steam or something similar. I believe you can just buy it on Steam.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you use the platform, GeForce Now, to access that game and stream it. So say you've got a bit of a shit PC. You can buy this, big AAA graphic intensive game and then use GeForce Now to have better hardware play the game and stream it to your screen so you can actually play the game at a decent frame rate. All very good in theory. However, for some reason, these companies have not quite understood that that's what they're offering. And Bethesda and Activision have both pulled their games from the service. You have to actually allow, the companies have to actually allow their games to be used in this manner. And they are obviously not happy. Which means that if someone with a shit PC, or someone who just wants to play the game at work, I know I know Jay in Joe Chip's Discord wants to do that. And now they just can't play their games. Like, they either have to deal with a shit frame rate on a crap PC, or they have to take a PC to work with them, which I don't think's very feasible.
No.
Or they just have to suck it up and just not play the game that they've paid 40 odd quid for.
Surely refunds will be inbound. Surely.
Well, Jay tried to get a refund on Wolfenstein, but because he played more than 2 hours of it, he couldn't get a refund.
Okay. Now, is that Wolfenstein Youngblood?
No, Youngblood stayed on there, weirdly,
Yes.
I think.
Weirdly, yeah, because that's a Bethesda title.
Yeah, for some reason, that one has stayed on there.
Maybe they just forgot about it?
I don't really know. I'm sure there's a reason.
it
was
all seems a bit
Wolfenstein
weird.
2.
Okay.
You tried to refund Wolfenstein 2 and Doom, but he played more than 2 hours of each of those games. So, obviously, Steam's refund policy meant he couldn't get that. Side note, actually. GOG have changed their refund policy to basically say, if it doesn't matter how long you've played the game for, if it's within 30 days, you can request a refund. However, you have to provide a reason for that refund, and then they will look at that and decide if that's acceptable as a refund reason.
Sounds like Steam's refund.
Well, except there's no play.
Yeah.
There's no play limit on it, and it's also 2 weeks longer.
Yeah.
But I think it's better than Steam's in theory, because it means that, you know, you can play a game for a while and then decide, oh no, I'm not having fun with this.
Yeah, like,
Or
it just doesn't click.
There can be
after 8
there can be
hours.
external
Yeah.
factors to why you don't want to refund it, or you could just forget. Like, if it's 2 weeks isn't a long time, you could just forget to refund it, and then be like, oh, wait, fuck.
Well, I mean, while we're on the subject of, like, refunds, wouldn't it be nice if games just kind of had a point in the game where it just gave you a little notification saying, hey, you're about to pass the point of no return. You know, you're committed to this purchase now. You know, rather than it just being like a 2-hour block of time or a 4-hour block of time, because every game is different. Like, sometimes it takes a while to open up a game.
And some games can be done in like 3-4 hours.
So,
but yeah, this is the reason that they're doing the whole you need to provide a reason, is so that people just don't just take the piss, buy a short game, and then go, hey, I can just refund it.
I didn't like this. I finished it too quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's probably a reason that would get denied, I'm going to be honest. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. It's going to be interesting, at least.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is all like these weird teething issues of like moving into like all. I mean, we were at all digital, but it's only going to get weirder and weirder as we start like streaming and all these different services pop up.
Oh yeah, streaming in particular. Yes, that's the topic we were on.
Yeah, so GeForce Now, with the reason why, just to kind of really put it in a nutshell, why Bethesda and Activision walked away was because of the multiplayer between Steam, like the play anywhere nature that they had with Steam and their titles, correct? So if you bought it on Steam, you could play it on GeForce Now, and like you could stream it on GeForce Now to whatever device.
Yeah.
What do you think the issue was there, though? Was it just because it kind of blindsided them and they got cold feet and freaked out?
What I think it is that Activision thought they'd be getting more money for it, because it is a subscription service.
Yeah, and then they realised Steam was cutting their mustard.
Yeah, well, if you're using GeForce Now, it's £5 a month. Now that it's actually on a public trial. So basically, I think where the disagreement is the fact that gamers are using the service, like Nvidia's service, and they're paying for that service, but the publishers who are quote unquote allowing their games to be on this service aren't getting a cut of that money.
Yep.
Even though they are still getting a cut of the sale. So I mean, if you want to be really reductive about it, it just comes down to corporate greed again. But that's what it always comes down to. Let's be honest.
Okay, now I'm a complete Nvidia novice. I never played with any of their products or this streaming service. But what is their relationship with Steam? Why?
It's basically tangential.
Does the Nvidia like? Because I was under the impression that the Nvidia Shield, the handheld, they had their own storefront. They had everything.
Yeah, but that didn't work out very well.
Okay. So are they using Steam as a launcher for Nvidia Shield products? Like you just buy everything from Steam? Like they just give you access to it from their products?
Yeah, you buy a product on Steam, you can use GeForce Now to play that product, rather than having to use your own hardware.
Gotcha, because I completely missed that like thing that opened up between the two. I mean, granted,
it's not a symbiotic relationship. It's a tangential relationship. They just happen to be the things that merge together.
Yes. Because again, the Shield products are very much just like kind of small form factor computers and handhelds. So, I imagine it makes sense that you'd be able to just access Steam and get the fucking games from wherever you want and play it on the device type situation. So, interesting. Okay, well, what does GeForce do then? Like, how do you tie up this loophole? Because obviously this would be upsetting to other publishers or potentially limits more people coming on board with the subscription service.
I don't know how much there is that Nvidia can specifically do themselves, other than literally talk to the publishers and explain more clearly what their service is, because their service in essence is it almost doesn't involve the publishers, but it needs their consent. It's a very odd thing. It lives in a very odd little area of who's involved and how, and trying to work that out. So I don't think that the publishers should be getting money from Nvidia for this, because it's not really it's not as if they've put anything any effort into it. Almost it's not like where they sell a game and Steam takes a cut because Steam was the storefront that they used to advertise the game and blah blah blah. That's not what's happened here. All it is
you're paying for a means to stream the game that you already own.
Yeah, you're paying for external hardware to work the software. That's not something that the publisher has had any part in, so I don't think that they deserve any remuneration for it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But trying to get big AAA publishers to agree to that is something that's not going to be the easiest task in the world, unfortunately.
So the difference between a GeForce Now and a Project Xcloud, from my understanding, is Project Xcloud, you pay for the service to get access to the games.
Yes.
And then it's also played on Microsoft's hardware, whereas GeForce Now...
it's the same as... Yeah, exactly. It's the same as Google Stadia.
Yeah.
Sort of. Except Google Stadia, you still have to actually buy the game from their storefront, as well as pay for... Yeah.
But the GeForce Now, you're not paying for the sale of the game. You're just paying for a means to play the shit that you already own.
Yeah, with your money that's going to GeForce Now, you're just paying for the streaming service. However, the reason that that's better than Google Stadia, before people point out that it is a similar business model, is because they don't have stupid fucking tiers. And it's literally just, hey, here's your subscription. Just go ahead. They don't have 60 FPS locked behind a tier. They don't have better streaming quality locked behind another tier. It's just a tier. That's it. And it's also cheaper. So
what I'm curious about though is if you're using GeForce Now hardware to play the game that you bought. Let's just say you bought it on Steam. So you bought a game on Steam, you've had it locally on your hard drive, and now you want to sign up to GeForce Now and then play it on their hardware so you can play it on the go. Where does that second copy come from? So if you're playing it on GeForce hardware, Nvidia hardware, off in the cloud,
Yeah.
is...
That's not running from your PC, that's running from a server somewhere.
Exactly. So you've already bought your copy and you've had it locally, right? Let's just say, for example, the Steam version that you bought. So if I bought Halo Reach and I've been playing it on my PC and I decide I want to play it on the go and I sign up to GeForce Now, who provides all the copies of the games or the digital codes for the games? Like,
There's not another code involved. You can download... you can download things more than once, right? On the same code.
Yeah, so does GeForce Now access...
It accesses your Steam account.
They
and
download
goes,
it
hey,
on your behalf onto their hardware?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm just
Yeah,
curious,
so-
because it's such a weird, like... They've become such a weird, like, middleman service, like, between the two.
It is a very... when you actually get into the sort of nitty-gritty of it, it's a very odd little service.
Because again, like, it wouldn't matter for somebody like a Microsoft because they have the rights to fucking distribute the games.
Yeah.
Anyway,
on the plus side though for GeForce Now, Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be on there on launch day.
Yeah, that was cool. I saw that.
So if you buy Cyberpunk, you will be able to use it on GeForce Now, which I will be doing. Well, not GeForce Now, but I'll be buying Cyberpunk.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I've got a gaming PC. I don't need GeForce Now for it. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether I'll be playing on my PC or if I'll just get an Xbox Series X for that one.
I will not get an Xbox for that.
Yeah, my PC's still got, I think, plenty of life in it. It's a 1070. I think it's still going to kick along relatively.
Mine's got a good 2 to 3 years before I really need to consider upgrading the graphics hardware.
I don't think I'll even think about it until next year.
Oh no!
No.
I remember when the 20, I've got a 1080 in mine. I remember when the 20 series came out. I was like, there's no fucking point yet.
Nah.
I'm gonna wait till the 30 series or maybe the 40 series.
Yeah, definitely.
So the 30 series is coming out later on this year, allegedly.
Yeah.
And I'll see how that goes. And I might just upgrade my CPU and the GPU at the same time.
They got to outpace the consoles count, so always stay one step in front.
Well, exactly.
Because, damn, I'm assuming you've seen
Got to maintain the PC master race.
The 12 teraflops on the Series X, like, that's nothing to shake a stick at. Like, holy shit.
That's terrifying.
Pretty impressive shit, so, yeah, I'd be very interested to see what they put out visually.
Yeah, but anyway, back to streaming.
Yeah, so, I guess...
I still think that the whole idea that you can buy a product and then that product being basically rendered unplayable by a publisher not wanting to play ball is a slightly worrying precedent for streaming. Do you not think? But it's the same idea. It's the same as Netflix though, because you pay for a Netflix subscription. The amount of people that bought a Netflix subscription when Friends came out on Netflix, and now Friends is gone again. Like, it's not on Netflix anymore. So...
distribution rights. That seems to be, It just seems to be, like, I don't like that in the streaming world. It's not a thing that I think is a positive thing about streaming. And it seems to be coming to gaming, and I don't really like that. But I suppose we've seen snippets of this with things like Game Pass and all that kind of stuff. Because I know there are a couple of games, not many, but there are a couple of games that have left Game Pass recently. There's a game called Snake Pass, which I do already own, but that's left Game Pass yesterday for PC. So yeah, I think it can be a double-edged sword because obviously, like, distribution rights, like, they're time deals, they time out, and then it gives somebody else a chance to acquire the distribution rights. And I think that can be a good or bad thing. I think it'd be frustrating for the consumer, like if, for example, Friends leaves Netflix or something like that, and it goes to some, who knows where it goes. But at the same time, if they didn't lapse and there weren't time deals, chances are it could kind of stagnate competition. Because what's to stop the person with the most cash, like a Disney coming in, buying everything without just buying it outright. I own these distribution rights for the indefinitely, and then just killing the competition. Like, I don't know how you get around that, because obviously that's something a Disney could do, given the opportunity.
I get where you're coming from. I do just think that, when you're paying for a service, when you buy it for a specific thing, it kind of, especially when you actually buy the title, like you have to buy the game, and then that game is suddenly rendered unplayable. Like, that's a bit anti-consumer. There's a line to be drawn with it all. Like, I get where you're coming from, and you're sure you can address that in certain ways, but you can probably address it in better ways that don't impact the consumer in quite the same way.
What I mean, in my opinion, I think Microsoft seemed to have it almost figured out.
Almost.
They seem to be on good terms with publishers. They seem to have gained a lot of trust over because Game Pass has been around a while, like 2 to 3 years. It seems to be something that's building. Now, I would love to be a fly on the wall. I'd love to know how they've gained that trust and how all the nitty-gritty works, because I imagine it's terribly complex. And I imagine there's not just a template that they can use, like, hey, this works for Activision and it'll work for everybody else. I imagine every publisher and developer has their own concerns, and they want something different out of what Game Pass and Microsoft can offer them for the distribution rights. So I guess that's something Geforce and Nvidia have to figure out, is what is that weird sweet spot between pleasing consumer and publisher. Even though I side with you, Count, I don't know if it's necessarily a publisher thing that they should be involved with, because if you own the game, why shouldn't I be allowed to pick the hardware that it runs on and take it wherever I want? And I think Nvidia's just fallen in that weird grey area which is yet to be explored. Like, I don't think anyone.
This is how it gets explored.
Yeah,
unfortunately, for better or for worse, I suppose.
I like the idea of it. I really do like the idea of it, because it seems like it's kind of like, it seems more flexible. It just seems more flexible in terms of like, I don't have to, if Game Pass hasn't got it, it doesn't matter, because I can get it from Steam and I can still take it with me. It kind of opens all that up. And obviously that opening up is what's kind of scaring people away at the moment, or publishers away.
Yeah.
So maybe it's too early. Maybe it's too early for a service like this in terms of how it's kind of opening it up.
Yeah, maybe this and Google Stadia are the ones that test the waters, sort of move everything around and go, hey, this is what'll work. And then when it's sort of all, when the dust settles from that, other companies will come in and take what's worked and go with that.
You remember On Live? The first on the scene for the
No, I do not remember that.
First on the scene for streaming, video game streaming. I think Sony actually bought them. Right. And then they converted all of that into PlayStation Now, but On Live beat everybody to the game. And it was too soon. Nobody was ready for it.
News to me.
Yep. So, yeah. I mean, I honestly, to put cap in it, I don't know which way it's going to go. I have a feeling they'll probably just slowly gain momentum, but I don't know if they'll ever get those big titles. Somebody like an Activision or a Bethesda can offer. So
I think the same with a lot of new technologies. It's just wait and see what happens.
Don't double down with your money, whatever you do.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I just maybe be cautious. Always be cautious with your money. That's probably the best idea. Anyway,
yeah,
that seems like a good time to wrap up the show. Anyway,
I agree. Very interesting scenario and situation.
Yes, do let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and leave a like and subscribe, guys.
But I guess until next week counts, when we'll hopefully be back.
Discussing something else that's gone wrong in the gaming world.
2 more episodes of Picard as well.
Oh, yeah.
I know Joe must secretly love our Picard discussions, so at least somebody enjoys
it. He definitely does.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys next week, and have a good one.